and welcome to Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. I'm Steve Swat with the Sacramento Report. In the next few minutes, we're going to talk about California's tax burden, and we're going to talk about that with George Runner, as a member of the Board of Equalization, former state senator. Thanks for being with us.
Good to be with you, Steve.
And I guess we had to say at the beginning, Board of Equalization, you are charged with collecting and administering various taxes, including the sales and use tax.
And since we're an elected official, I really look at myself as a taxpayer advocate for those taxpayers.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me premise my first question this. Thanks to an improving economy and Proposition 30 temporary tax increases, California's fiscal outlook is much better. Much more money is pouring into schools, higher education, a rainy day fund. We're paying down debt. Our credit rating is improving. And yet, as a lifelong anti-tax conservative, is it fair to say you don't necessarily agree with how we got to that position?
Well, I guess you have to take a look at it from different sides. I mean, right now, if you read the papers and see the numbers, it looks like there's a multi-billion-dollar surplus, whether it's $2 or $3 billion. The question is, at what cost will that be? The other issue is, how will it keep happening? Remember what happened with Prop 30? It was a retroactive tax, and so went back and caught people in their income tax in the previous year, or up to the first of that year. You know, as a result of that, people didn't have a chance to change their behaviors. See, I believe tax policy changes people's behaviors. They buy differently, they shop differently, they may even move out of the state. And as a result of that, tax revenues will change. So the question is, how much of that is going to be real? How much of it will change as a result of higher taxes? And the other issue is, how will we spend it? Will we spend that one-time money like it's going to come in all the time and then create another hole for ourselves later on? That's what we did, just a few years ago, which got us into this problem.
2000. That's correct. There are also some tax relief that didn't help at the same time.
Well, that's true. And the other issue that I think you've got in regards to that, and then these are all temporary. So what's going to happen? Are you going to have these dollars come in for a while? All of a sudden, they fall off, and you're back exactly where you are before because you haven't done what you needed to do in order to invest in the economy, and that is get jobs created, get people back to work, get those taxes increased because people are working.
I know you've always considered California's tax burden too high, too onerous.
Well, and again, what happened as a result of this tax increase that we had last year is California added 4 more days to the calendar that you have to work before you start earning money for yourself. There's a day called Tax Freedom Day. That's when it is that you kind of stop paying taxes and you start earning money for yourself. This year, California's had to wait till April 24th. That's 4 days longer that they had to work in order for that reserve to take place, 8 days longer than 2 years ago. So, I mean, I think the Californians are paying the price for those reserves, and now the question is, how are we going to use those? How are we going to invest them?
But most of the price is being paid by millionaires and billionaires, and I mean the real wealthy, because those are the ones who were affected by Proposition 30, and then we have some sales tax increases, but that's part of it. Pretty minuscule.
But again, what you have there, when you say millionaires and billionaires, you're really not talking about. You're talking about people who earn not just a few $100,000 a year, not people who earn $1 million a year. And as a result of that, I always see the people who have that kind of income have the most flexibility as to where they're going to reside. And so what you'll see studies saying that people who are those higher income earners end up moving out of state. We read stories about it. Sports people, multi-million-dollar a year sports figures who then decide that they're going to locate to Florida or Texas. And this is a result of high taxes. And again, we're not going to see those dollars come into California. And if we continue to go to those folks, we're going to see fewer and fewer of them.
All right. Well, we're out of time. But George Runner, member of the Board of Equalization, former state senator, thanks for coming by and giving us your view on California's tax burden. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thanks to our viewers also for watching a Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. A reminder, you can see this and other interviews on YouTube, also on My Government on Demand. I'm Steve Swat. Have a great day.